Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over $10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, happy hump day. Jay Foreman. I got my man of the hour, Nick Sainer. This is Old School, brought you to No School Way while Austin Orman is down in Vegas doing God knows what. No, he's just chilling.
Nobody knows. That man went to a Knights game last night.
He went to Knights game, went to Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
He's having the time of his life.
For a guy like Austin, the Hoover Dam is probably the highlight of the trip.
No, what Austin is doing, I have a feeling Austin has been very sheltered. that people watch it. I wish Austin. This is what I was saying before we get into what Old School brought you by the Mercado, certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients and butcher shop is starting to be almost a grill-worthy day. Light wind, good temperature, every type of meat, every type of cut. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple up there in the O or the Metro, whatever you like to call it. But Austin needs like a, you know how they have a mic on him.
Oh yeah,
and then they have he has somebody filming just his commentary of
the
people,
GoPro.
Yeah,
with the mic.
Of people walking the strip and in through the hotels in Vegas.
And then I want to know what people think of Austin.
Yeah, and you know what? It would be really, really good. As a matter of fact, we should just keep him down there. He needs to interview people because Austin is too smart and he's real and he's sneaky, smart.
Yeah,
and then it would be must see TV.
He'll sneak up on you. I mean, Jay, you're a victim of it. He'll sneak up on you and jab you without doing it directly. I mean, he'll throw a jab without you knowing that he just threw a jab.
Yeah, but he's been getting me like
square,
and then he'll just look at you like, yeah, just take it.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do about it?
He's came a long way, but Austin's doing a great job out there.
Hey,
but
Terrell texted and says he's just walking around fast. Hey, he does walk fast.
Hey, Austin will go from 8th and O Street to 27th and O Street faster than any human in Lancaster County.
He can walk a marathon faster than somebody who runs it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Anyway,
he's like a speed walker. But we were talking about before the break. With this NIL and everybody's got to, and it's smart for these young men and women to take advantage of it. You got to. Yeah. But I think I saw Kirby Smart, and it's in the notes here where he was like, and Kirby Smart's kind of taking on Nick Saban. Now he's pretty much the best coach in college football. Right?
Yes, I thought you were going to talk about like most respected.
Well, I was just
coach.
about to say it. I was going to say he's perceived as the best coach, the most recent back-to-back champion, and kind of from the Nick Saban. So he's benefiting off of Nick Saban tree to where he's going to be the spokesman for whatever issues that he wants to get out there. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's pre-planned. So he was talking about
who would be second in that? Like, because there's been a group
perception or reality,
because there's like a group of guys. There's a group of coaches when college football went through like the giant coaching carousel a couple of years ago, like Lincoln Riley and stuff. Like you could have looked at a couple of those guys and been like, they're on the fence, and at their next job, they just need to continue it. Mm-hmm. But they haven't. Like I'm throwing like Brian Kelly into there. I'm throwing Lincoln Riley into that conversation. Brent Venables probably had a chance at it. Yeah, and that one feels like the ship has sailed.
Sweeney for a while. I think it's all relative to where you're at.
Okay.
I mean, because if you ask Kansas State fans, he's their coach Kleiman is the second coming of Snyder.
Hey, Chris Kleiman though.
Right, but I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, just look how you reacted,
yeah.
And then where you think of, and it's all comparable to the previous coach to what you have.
Sure,
right? And,
sure.
Right, and
I meant more on a national scale. Like
national scale, the perception is, which is crazy. It's still Kirby Smart, even though they haven't been in it in 2 years. I still don't think people give Ryan Day his credit.
No, I would agree.
And then you have the normal. I mean, heck, Lincoln Riley gets a lot more. He gets a lot more cachet than maybe. So even though supposedly he was on the hot seat,
where's our favorite guy,
Marcus Freeman?
Yeah,
he's probably the up and coming. This is like a big. So, and then then right away he hasn't even coached a college game. People were going to say Bill Belichick, rightfully so, but still Bill Belichick, right? And then you have
Fran Brown said it.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, he's. I mean, that's the truth, though.
If
you want to get something done, who would you call? You would probably say Bill Belichick or Kirby Smart.
I would say Kirby Smart, Bill Belichick. Like Dabo doesn't even have that anymore for me.
No, he's kind of talked himself out of it. Yeah. But okay, so who else?
Like prior to that, I'm thinking like who are coaches that maybe have gotten out of the game? Like Bob Stoops would have been one of them.
And of course, like Nick Saban.
Yeah, right.
Jim Harbaugh before.
But current day, I mean, the list is very, very short, and maybe it's because coaches are changing spots.
They're changing spots, and you're getting a lot of coaches up in the studio booth.
Yeah.
Quicker and comfortable there, or head coaches are taking OC jobs. Now, Gus Malzahn and all them, they don't carry the same cachet, so you're getting the new cycle of coaches.
Dan Lanning.
maybe.
He doesn't feel like
he doesn't feel
like the face.
No, and plus, what's really, really great for him, he's at Oregon.
Yeah.
What's really, really not good for him on that type of thing, he's at Oregon.
Yeah.
I think this year is up for grabs, and it'll be interesting also to see before we dive into this NIL stuff. Is this the second? I went to the second coming of Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney has a little bit. I told you so. He waited it out.
Oh yeah.
Never got it. He only had one or two. He didn't really get into the transfer portal. I'm sure he reluctantly paid anybody any money or anything that he didn't have to pay. And now you have a revenue sharing. So he's probably going back to his boosters. Hey, I saved you a lot of money. I still won a lot of games. By all rankings, as I'm looking just right here, ESPN, his quarterback is the number one quarterback. So potentially a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I will say this: the first quarter. I'm gonna tell you this. Oddly enough, I saw him. I thought Cade Klubnik was gone when he lost that game. When my dad went into the Ring of Fame, when he lost that game against the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I know for a fact Dabo Swinney swore at him. Now, it wasn't the type of swear that you think, but he was upset. Now he's going to be a first-round pick. But if Dabo really turns it around or kind of has a really then he might be back up in there. But I think the forefathers of college football is ever-changing right now.
As we just name coaches, I always gravitate towards, okay, what coaches are in the most interesting situations this season? I think Dabo is in one of them. I said his name just a few moments ago. I think Brent Venables is in a really fascinating spot.
On the hot seat.
Yeah.
That's not fascinating.
Oh, it is it is when you're not there.
Oh, yeah.
From the outside looking in, it's really it's really interesting because you think about the way that he was brought in. And it was similar to the way Scott Frost was brought here. It's similar, right? Nebraska didn't get betrayed. I think betrayed is an accurate description there, like Oklahoma did with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
But the way that Oklahoma fans felt betrayed because of Lincoln Riley being brought up by Bob Stoops comes back, coaches the bowl game with Caleb Williams, and then Caleb Williams leaves. Bob Stoops is like, okay, I feel good giving it off to Brent Venables.
Yeah.
And it has been nowhere close to anything.
And I think more importantly, the biggest thing is no different than the NFL, the quarterback position. He went and got the quarterback this year from Washington State. The Arnold, who was supposed to be the next Caleb Williams. I think he was.
Well, you could go down the list of. Even prior to that, it was at Oklahoma. They've had the talent at quarter or the potential at quarterback with Rattler, Williams, Jackson Arnold, like you just talked about.
And the thing is that Jackson Arnold was supposed to be that guy.
Yeah.
He
had Malachi Nelson at one point.
He was supposed to be turning the whole program around. And that's kind of really where it's been. I think the defense of Brett Venables is always going to be competitive.
Yeah.
They'll always. That's going to be the deal. They had Guyton, who was a really first round pick, offensive lineman. So they've had guys. They had a really good running back that we saw up close and personal. And then obviously I think with Texas leaving and Texas really taking off, that's where the pressure comes from, because now it's like, okay,
100%.
Our rival is really just leaving us in the dust. And the transition, I think, to the SEC has been a little bit harder for Oklahoma than Texas.
Well, I think when they initially made the decision to, and maybe not publicly, but behind closed doors, of this is something we want to pursue, their program was in a completely different spot. They felt completely different with it. And it involved maybe a little bit of Lincoln Riley as well, because with Lincoln Riley at the helm, maybe they felt like they could compete. Not to jump from another program to another program, but you mentioned the Texas piece of it and the way that they've been able to take off under Steve Sarkisian. I look at the team in College Station as that too, with A&M.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talked yesterday about the hiring that they're going to have to do down there at A&M with basketball, but specifically with football, it's like, how much does Mike Elko move the needle down there at A&M if he's not able to get it off the ground and running in 2 years? It wasn't the sexiest of hires. It wasn't the big name that a university like A&M is going to get often.
Yeah.
And like you said, now you add in what quote unquote big brother is doing in Austin, and it makes matters worse.
Oh, that's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than like Oregon State leapfrogging Oregon. Like you're on a hot seat, and they've got talent down there. You know, you got Nick Scruton down there, and then you got Stewart. You got your two bookends going to be first round. They've had a little bit of quarterback kind of controversy.
Yeah.
Lost some guys in the portal, but and it's the toughest league in the. You know, it's tough. You know, I wouldn't say it's the toughest league. I truly believe the Big Ten is tougher, but I think it's tougher when you jump in there, no matter who you are. And it'll be interesting to see how Texas does this year, just because you're kind of settled in your quarterback. You've been able to kind of take Arch Manning and kind of really baby him to the process. Now he's going to be out there against live bullets, and it's still up in the air whether he can perform.
Yeah, is the adjustment, the timetable of the adjustment period longer in the SEC than it is in the Big Ten? The Big Ten provides more of consistent difficulty, but the adjustment in the SEC is tougher. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Because I think down there they do business a little bit different,
and it feels like a little bit quicker.
It's down south. It's just a different type of mentality. It's a holistic type of thing. So you're not just bringing your football team. You got to change your whole identity. And then I think the pressure gets amped up, like you said. Texas
Identity off the field.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
You got to essentially,
which we always talk and cram identity as how they play on the field or on the surface, but
it's just how you do business, and you can't rest because you're playing catch up against the good old boys that have been doing it. And then now here's also the problem is like Ole Miss actually looked more legit, even though they let themselves down. Well, now those, Texas A&M probably thinks, all right, Ole Miss, they're 7-8 wins. We can get, can't them. Then you have blood in the water, Florida, like literally. And now they're coming up. Then you lose a game against LSU. Well, you can't get away with that like you used to. So it's really just a different type of mentality, and it's nonstop. And I think it's hard to get used to it, but I think they'll catch up.
We got a question, and we'll get this before we get to break. Maybe we'll get to the NIL stuff in the final segment. We got a question regarding James Franklin. He says, "Hey guys, love the show. What are your guys' overall thoughts on James Franklin?" No context there.
You want my thoughts on James Franklin?
What are your thoughts?
He cost me a steak dinner. That's my exact.
No. James Franklin didn't. Drew Aller did.
But James Franklin did prior.
Okay.
And prior to that, because I needed him.
Who'd he cost against?
Or I didn't need you. I needed you not to get blown out, and I needed you not to do what you did. And when I needed you really to step up, you just was horrible. Every time I've said, you know what, I'm in with my man James Franklin, right? Yeah, I'm in with him.
Yeah.
Just let me down. I think James Franklin, it's a hard spot because I think they've had really, really good talented teams. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's recruited well. And unfortunately for him, his last two really good defensive coordinators have left. A little bit of turnover offensively, but it's almost like the Phil Mickelson effect where you went against Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
Are you that bad because you lost to Tiger Woods, or you just happen to be in the buzzsaw of Michigan and Ohio State, or Ohio State, then Michigan, now Ohio State?
Is that a similar conversation as Dan Lanning, where it's kind of you're off the beaten path? You're in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
And you're just there. Like you're doing your thing. And Oregon's, I think from a program standpoint, Oregon is in a better spot than Penn State for like the next 3-5 years. But in terms of like national respect, Penn State is just there.
Yeah.
And people don't take them seriously, it feels like.
In big games.
No.
But they've made huge strides. I think, they played with a different edge when they were out there. Against USC, and they really represented. They played Oregon in the Big Ten championship a lot tougher than I thought they would. They really gave Ohio State the blueprint to beat them, run the ball and not give up big plays, and you end up winning. So I think they've made like big strides in getting there, but I think also people have got this like misconception: either Penn State wins it or they suck, and they're pretty much a lot closer than farther. It just so happens at this point in time. They just haven't had the things fall their way. And a lot of it has to do with quarterback, though, too.
Oh,
So,
that's one thing is I think that.
And I think Isle is better than people give him credit for, but I think they were trying. They tried to. You got to think they were trying to get rid of Clifford, who probably, like.
I'm trying to think the last guy that they weren't trying to push out the door prematurely, and it was probably Trace McSorley,
Right.
when they had Chris Godwin and Saquon in the backfield and things like that.
They wanted one more year of him.
But like even like Matt McGloin, way back when, and like you said, Sean Clifford. I don't know. I think that you're
Christian
in this.
Hackenberg.
Yeah. Those. I mean, but once again, like Matt McGloin and Christian Hackenberg, they were on NFL rosters for a while. But what I was also going to say is I think coaches and programs can get tied at the hip too much to a 5-star quarterback, and Drew Aller was a 5-star, and they made it known that, hey, this guy came in what we expected to be legit.
Yeah.
And now they're hesitant to move on. And I think you can kind of pigeonhole yourself as a program. And we saw it on the biggest stage where some crucial mistakes that are now his characteristics crept in, and it ended up losing them games at times.
Yeah. And it started a couple years ago at Ohio State. That was the game that they were like, this is it, we're ready.
Yeah, that's right.
And the offensive, remember they wouldn't throw it deep. Remember James Franklin got all upset. Well, he made a big step this year. He did overall. Didn't now some of the sores kind of came out in the biggest game. So if he can take another step next year with what they got coming back in the running back room and receivers and stuff, then they'll be right where they're right.
That
it's
was
not all
thing.
dependent on him, but I think if he continues to progress, then the story will end on a positive note versus like, all right, you played another game.
That was another thing. It's just truly incredible that they were able to retain both running backs
quickly.
I mean, yeah, it was right away. It was like within a week.
Well, when you look at did you see the combine with all?
Well, Ashton Genty changed my opinion on him.
Yeah.
After seeing how he moved at his pro day.
Yeah.
I mean, that changed my opinion on Ashton Genty, as to where I think Ashton's a top 15 pick. Like I put him in that Jahmyr Gibbs conversation. That Jahmyr obviously was drafted like I think 11th overall by the Lions a couple of years ago. But I mean, the running back room is deep because you have you have Judkins, you have Henderson, you have Genty.
You got Hampton from North Carolina.
Yeah.
You throw in Scatterboot. I mean, you got Iowa's Jackson. I mean, you got a ton of running backs.
If this year's running back room was the depth of the quarterback class, those two Penn State guys are the top 2 running backs off the board.
Yeah. And so it probably made sense for him to come back.
Plus, I'm sure they're, bringing NIL.
Yeah.
You're probably doing just fine.
The big checks, and you're going to get a ton of carries, and you're not going to get too much wear and tear.
That was what was really impressive by James Franklin and their whole situation was that, and I applauded like Ohio State for this too. The 2 running backs that are better than a lot of teams starter, both of them are better. Figuring out a way to not only keep them happy, and it takes both sides, which I know you can talk a lot more about this. It takes the willingness, for using Ohio State as an example, of Quinshawn coming in as the number 1 running back in the portal and being like, look, I'm going to share carries with Trevion, but it's going to set us both up better.
And I think it's worked out both well for him going to the next level. So, your coach got to sell the vision, then you got to execute it, and it's constant. And then you got on the other side, you got to have guys seeing a bigger picture, and you can see the bigger picture a little bit better when they put that fat paycheck in front of you too. So,
and, you want me to carry the ball 50 fewer times? All right.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. And I'll be fresher. And all I got to do is run a good 40 and win a national championship. It's all good.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We got the high school coach from Northeast.
That's right. Javonte Boyd.
Yeah. Got him on the right path. So it's good to highlight him and see what he's got going on. Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through April 6th, enjoy all-natural, thick-cut bone-in pork chops for $2.48 per pound, all-natural boneless chicken breasts $2.99 per pound, 5-ounce portions of tuna steak, mahi-mahi, or swordfish for $3.99 each, and Busch Light 30 racks just $17.99 each when you purchase 2. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Plus, Koppel has over 10,500 off list on other select new models. Our pre-owned truck lot is full of late model low gyms as well. So make that short drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. All deals with a roof credit, 0% is standalone.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer. We got two special guests here. We got Coach Boyd from Northeast and Miss Erica coming in talking about Northeast football, but more importantly, a special event that you guys must be good salespeople to get some alums to go out there and do 7-on-7. I want to welcome you guys into Old School. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having us.
So tell us about the number one, tell us about Northeast football last year. I think, from our perspective, we call a few high school football games, and obviously throughout the city and obviously us as well, that you guys have taken, we feel like a huge step last year. Can you talk about that season last year?
Yeah, it takes a lot to build a program, especially when you're trying to build from the bottom. We have a lot of young talent who got their experience last year, and we're able to, put together some wins, and I think that's where it starts. But in the classroom, in the weight room, on the field, they had success, and I think a lot of people saw that in our city this year. And so, we'll play the same schedule coming back up. So our kids are excited to have more success.
And talk about that from a coaching perspective, coaching, young ones and trying to get them to believe. And sometimes you don't have instant success. I'm sure they like to get down the dumps, but for the special group of kids to keep plugging forward and then obviously get some fruits of their labor.
Yeah, I took the job and, I don't shy away from it. We went 0-18. And so some guys left, and good for them, and the guys stayed. I kept telling them, it's going to take time. Nothing's, built overnight. You got to keep rowing and keep going and keep going. And, we'll have some games where it wasn't nice. But I kept telling them, build a program. You're not just going to wake up and win. It's going to take some losses and it's going to take some time. And so those guys stuck it out. And when we came up on our new cycle, I know I had to do something as a coach. I can't keep, going out there and getting my kids, embarrassed and getting them. I got to play some games where we can be competitive. And that's the big thing. I tell them we got to compete every single day. There's not one moment that you should go throughout your day where you don't compete. If you don't do that, then that's when you will lose, no matter who you play. So in the classroom, I challenge them. You need to go in and compete in that classroom. You need to go and compete in our weight room, and then you will have success. When you focus on winning, sometimes that don't happen. That's when you fall short, and then you're sad. But when you focus on just the small details, okay, how am I gonna get better? Am I gonna run this sprint hard? Am I gonna focus on this test? Am I gonna focus on my plays? Am I gonna go to practice and give it 100%? That's when you start winning games. And it showed the first game of the season when we came out and we got some wins and, we went on a run and got 3 in a row. And, I think it's just continue to build success. And what does that look like? Because some of our players didn't know what success looked like.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing. We're trying to build that program.
It's a little easier now, obviously going from last year to this year. Now you got their full attention. Right now it's just like, it's not, whatever, coach. Now it's like, okay, I got you. And they can see it. And then they can spread your word so you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah, like I said, we're very young. We got their sophomores going to be juniors next year. They set the tone now.
Right.
I don't have to do all the yelling. I don't have to do all those things that I was doing the first 2 years. Some of the players are doing it. They're leading. We always tell them a player-led team is the best team.
Yeah.
A coach-led team, you could be okay. But they are taking this and setting the tone and leading and doing everything I'm asking them to do. And so that makes it very easy. So when we go into this year, you continue to set the standard high. I have to talk to them about that. The standard would never be set low.
Yeah.
You always set the standard high. And so for the next freshman that's coming in, the next freshman will know what the standard is. And then your group keep going.
Right. Now on the 7-on-7, which is obviously, taking off, but you guys have something pretty cool coming up as far as 7-on-7 involving some really good players from the past. Talk about how you guys came up with the idea, the details, when it's going, and what do you want to get accomplished out of it?
Yeah, we last year we focused on 7-on-7 in June, and we had a big success. For us, we coming off of a season where you don't win games, we entered the battle tournament in Omaha, and we did pretty well. We went 3-3 that in that tournament, and I think that boosted us going into the fall. And this year, I wanted to focus on our alumni because we have a huge alumni and some good talent that came through Northeast. And so I wanted to give them an opportunity to come back and show the youth that they still got it.
Yeah.
So, we decided that we're going to have an alumni tournament, Flag Football 7-on-7, for them to showcase their skills, be able to go into school and, look through it, look at weight room, just have all that opportunity to do things like that. And so, this year on June 28th, we're going to have our alumni flag football tournament. And so I'm very excited for me, I'm not from Nebraska, so being able to meet all these people that I see in the hallways, see the pictures and stuff like that, that's big. I'm a guy who likes to shake hands and get to know people. So I'm excited to get to know all these alumni that come back.
Yeah, it's great where you get to see how some of the people that are up in the stands still supporting you and trying to build the program. Are you going to get out there yourself?
No, I'm not pulling a hamstring. I think I'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
But we will have some trainers on staff just in case.
Yeah, you make sure. I know. You make sure you have the age limit, man. Football is faster than dog years.
I tell them right now. I say, hey, there's an old group that signed up, and I said, it's 18 and older. So those young guns, they're gonna be coming.
Yeah,
and they're ready to go. So I've made some phone calls to some of our younger teams, and they signed up and they're excited. So it should be fun.
You're going to mix in any of your present day roster or have them come out and support the alumni as the alumni supports them?
Yep. They'll be at the game. They'll be helping all day, being able to watch it. And like I said, I like shaking hands and I like getting to know people. So I think it should be fun for our kids to get to see some of these older gentlemen.
Yeah, that's great, man. For our, we got a lot of listeners that are Northeast Rocket alum. Their old saying is "Once a Rocket, always a Rocket." But I wanted for everybody that's listening that's not a Northeast Rocket alum, just tell them what to expect this year, just in general from the football program that me and Nick already know, but they don't know yet.
Yeah, we're gonna come out. We're always gonna be disciplined. Give high effort, and our kids are gonna go compete. No matter who we play, no matter where we are, we're going to compete. And that's the standard. We have to compete. And that's what we will do. And I think that will show in our play in the fall and in the summer when we are out there playing our 7-on-7 and doing things that we need to do.
So obviously you've been in the Lincoln High School football scene for a couple of years now, right? But how have you seen it evolve, grow, right? Because we obviously watch a lot, and it's indirectly, nobody ever says it out loud, compares Lincoln and Omaha, right?
Yeah.
They're always, and that's fine, right? The competition piece that you talked about is that the two big cities want to be better than the other one, right? How have you seen the Lincoln prep scene grow for football specific with all other teams, coaches? Because I think it's gotten better over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think Omaha is a beast in itself.
Yeah.
They have different rules that they apply by, and
which not a lot of people know. So then they go out and talk, and they don't really know the reason.
Yeah, Omaha and Gretna and all of those teams have different rules.
Yeah.
And like Westside, they're in Omaha South. These teams who we have to go compete against, they play a different rule. They are in a different atmosphere, and we're going to compete. Lincoln. And I think, for us over here in Lincoln, I think we just need to keep chipping away. I think it's just there will be a time where we will be in a state championship. But I think if we continue to lose athletes, some people don't know we lose athletes to Omaha, that's going to continue to hurt us. And I think as a group of head coaches, I think we do a really good job of just, controlling what we can control. The kids that come to our school, we coach them and we do a really good job. And I think that's what we need to continue to focus on. And, Omaha, they'll be Omaha.
Yeah. If there are, before we get you guys out of here, if there are Rocket alum listening, how do they sign up?
You can go to our Facebook page, our Lincoln Northeast Facebook page, and sign up. There's a link on there. It's right on there, right when you get to our Facebook page. And sign up, and then I will contact you, and we'll go from there.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you guys for stopping in, man. I pray for. I'm almost 50, so I know how it is to get out there or like to get out there and try to compete. You get some old memories, but then you get a present day reality that you can't get out of your break too fast. So
you can play quarterback.
I can play coach, even though I'll do that. So appreciate you guys stopping in. Wish you all the luck. We'll be out there checking you out. Maybe call a game or two. It's really commendable, and obviously appreciate the job you've done, man. Because I think taking on a job like Northeast that hadn't really had a lot of success, and then infusing the energy and tangible success, that's big ups to you, man. So it's we always talk about it all the time, what you did last year, and it's really great to meet you because I heard a lot about you. So appreciate you stopping down.
Thank you for having us.
Yep. That's Old School. Coach Boyd, Northeast Rockets alums. Get out there 7-on-7. We're going to take a quick break. Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Any showers and thunderstorms will be wrapping up here today. Then we'll see decreasing cloud cover. It's going to be a breezy Wednesday, gusts up around 30 to 35 miles an hour. High temperature right around 61 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear all the way down to 34 for a low. We'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow with a high temperature near 60 and then cooler and rainy as we head to the weekend. I'm geologist Aaron Doudna for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, old school. Once again, we'll give a shout out to Coach Boyd, head coach of the Northeast Rockets football team. They got alumni 7-on-7 game. Wish them all the best out there, especially those fresh new alumni. They're going to come out putting work June 28th. Get on their Facebook and sign up if you're a Northeast Rocket alum. But he's doing a lot of great things and building a program from the ground up, and I think that he's going to continue to do a great job.
Jay, I just saw during the break, and I mentioned this to you, that there was a little bit of movement in high school basketball recruiting for like the somewhat local scene out in Papillion Vista South. We got to see him play.
Yeah.
Somebody's switching.
Yeah.
We got to see him play. And Bryson Ball, he was initially going to go to South Dakota State. We both felt like he could have gone somewhere larger.
I think I was very impressed. I was been very impressed by the whole program, but particularly with him. I've been able to see him, over the last couple of years. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten taller. He looks. Me, he looks like a real deal. I would have made a late pitch for him. I get it. He committed. His recruiting process was a little bit slower than obviously he's going to South Dakota State. Coach left to go to Drake. Now he's going to Drake. That's understandable. But man, I think that game got a little bounce, got a little attitude, a little swagger. He's going. I predicted that he was going to South Dakota State, stepping in and starting. I'm not backing off that going to Drake either.
Well, that's the thing, right? So just for context, Eric Henderson, South Dakota State's head coach, he leaves when Ben McCollum leaves Drake and goes to Iowa. Eric Henderson goes from now South Dakota State to Drake, hit up Bryson Ball, like, hey man, I want you.
Yeah.
And so now Bryson Ball is going to Drake. It just feels like you felt it with maybe Baylor Shireman a little bit. You felt it even I think with William Kyle as well. And I would put Bryson Ball in that category of like, he feels like one of those guys that's going to go to a league in a mid-major or a team in a mid-major, spend 2 years there, and then when he gets into the portal, he's going to be a very sought-after guy.
Yeah, I think he's got enough, game that where he's got 3-point range, play defense. He's long, he's athletic, and he can get downhill.
Yeah,
and I think the spacing in college basketball and he's a very smart player. His basketball IQ is very high, so that'll allow him to transition into playing big time basketball right away. And you know what? It might be the best thing for him if he feels comfortable there. That's where he'll be successful. And then when he's ready, kind of like Frankie Fiddler.
Yeah.
It's no different. Like I felt like Frankie Fiddler, even though he needed to get quicker and all that. Here's my view on things. When you have when you know who's invested as a basketball player, and there's a difference. In some guys that are superior talented aren't really invested because they've just gotten away with it on pure talent.
Yeah.
When you have a guy that that will continue to improve, that's the guy I want.
Yeah.
Because that's who's going to win you games. That's who's going to get better. And that's the guy that's going to be loyal to you because you were loyal to them at the beginning. So, congrats to him. And, there's nothing going to change. He's going to go do his thing.
Yeah.
He needs to get a little bit bigger. You get 4 square meals and pretty good. Drake, you better, what they get in Iowa? What they got?
They got Des Moines.
They got
It's out of
corn
Des
up
Moines.
there. What's Iowa's known for? Besides being stinky. Oh, he's in Des Moines. That's a
Yeah,
good
it's Des
city.
Moines. Des Moines cool.
Yeah, it's just Ames.
Ames is bad.
Man.
But they got Jada Williams.
Man,
doesn't matter.
I don't know if that might be sight unseen.
What's even better?
That stench in Ames is legendary.
What's even better is Jada Williams visited Iowa this weekend too. Visited Iowa State, then went to Iowa, chose Iowa State. Let's get that popping.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
it
probably
is.
better, more Big 12. That's their style.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Anyways, old school. Appreciate Nick stepping in. Jay Foreman. Next is Lighthouse. Bill Missioner and crew. Stay tuned. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Buffalo Wings and Rings today on 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the